A lot of you guys say that I'm a NIO basher and a NIO hater. That is the complete opposite from the truth, guys. Look what this is. This is NIO cereal. Absolutely delicious. In fact, I fully support the company. I tell all my viewers you should go test drive a NIO. Buy the car. Absolutely fantastic vehicles. Service, amazing. Quality, amazing. And I support the company not only by buying their car, also buying all sorts of other stuff. NIO pajamas, I got NIO yoga mats. In fact, let me show you my NIO yoga mat. It says born to win. And right here, what does that say? NIO life, guys. And this is my NIO towel. And if you guys can see, on the bottom here it says blue sky coming. Blue sky coming. This is gonna piss you off. It's made with Xinjiang cotton. If you guys know anything about what's happening in Xinjiang. I also given a lot of stuff to NIO, including different shirts, different face masks. I went to one of NIO's service centers and gave them a bunch of face masks, and they're super grateful. He told me usually customers are super pissed and they have a shitty attitude when they go to the service center, all swearing at the service guys and repairmen how the car shouldn't have any problems. So usually they gotta deal with the bad side, and then there's all of a sudden me going in there, and then I give them a stack load of NIO masks. They just never gotten anything like this before, and that teared them up. And I recommend you fully support NIO as well. Buy their car if you can. They're in Europe, no excuses. If it's too expensive, you can subscribe. Get the subscription monthly. I still see people on my Discord coming up with excuses. No excuses, man. If NIO's in your country, test drive. Great car, test drive it, get the car. Right? If it's too expensive, you can't do that. Buy some of their merch. All right? Support the company. Having that said, the news is the news. I'm not responsible for the news. If there's somebody reporting on the mass shooting that's happening, the newsman is not responsible for the mass shooting. All right? Just like how when I report something that's happening here in China, I am not the cause of the thing that's happening here in China. I'm not the instigator. I'm just showing you guys the screenshots, what's happening here, translating stuff so that you guys have a full picture. All right, don't hate the newsman for sharing the news. Some of you guys also said, why did I disable comments? Because most of you guys don't watch the whole video through. Without watching the whole video through, you just have a half picture. You don't know what the whole thing is. You don't know what's going on. I'm just sharing the news that's happening here in China, what I'm told by the guys at NIO, what I'm told by other NIO owners. Don't hate the newsman for sharing the news. All right, now we got that whole disclaimer out of the way. This video is going to serve as an update to my previous video. If you haven't seen that, you got to go watch it. And guys, I'm just sharing the brutally honest truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. All right, so what's going on? So after the whole NIO owner gets backstabbed by a NIO situation, and NIO sort of doing it under the table, not exactly price cuts, but discounts, discounts. It's the same thing as price cuts. All right, here's the full discount picture of what the whole entire discount thing looks like right now. And then there's also 0% interest on loans. So of course, I got to make it very clear that people are pissed about price cuts. But price cuts isn't the thing that's pushing them over the edge. It's actually giving away NIO Pilot for free, which has just gotten so much heat and so much rage. And I've joined these revolt groups, and basically what their aim is to do is to claw back some sort of compensation, to sue NIO. And these are all NIO owners. And some of you guys were wondering, how do you tell if somebody's a NIO owner? Well, if they have the dark V check mark, that's the verified NIO owner. If it's a light V, a light blue V, that means it's a pre-order, not a full NIO owner yet. And if there's no V or nothing like that, then they're not a NIO owner. All right. So all the guys in that chat group are NIO owners. Most of them are super pissed. The gist of it is, as the title says, NIO owners are ditching the brand. They're convincing friends and family that want to buy a NIO to not buy a NIO, which I absolutely think is stupid, but it's what's happening. And I got screenshots to show you guys. And guys, if at any point in this video, if you doubt what I'm saying, feel free to pause the video, take a snapshot of that screenshot, go translate it in Google Translate or Apple Translate. See for yourself, all right? Again, I'm just trying to show you guys what's happening here in China. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this video, so let's get started. I got a ton of screenshots, and there's even one NIO owner, which he's actually a subscriber as well. Of course, I'm going to leave his name out of this, but I'll show you some of his screenshots. Yeah, he's really pissed as well. So, and he's thinking of switching to a Li Auto. Cool. There's a lot of NIO owners that got screwed over. They paid full price for the car in January, and then all of a sudden in February, discounts, and also the national subsidy. I'm doing it like this because it's actually coming out of NIO's pocket. There's no more national subsidy. NIO's just using that as a method to get more discount in. But one thing that people have done recently is they've gone to NIO's live streams, and actually, I think this is a pretty low move, and actually comment inside warning people that are watching the live stream not to buy a NIO, which is just very, very stupid. The guys that suffer the most from this whole debacle is, of course, NIO user volunteers. A lot of people might not have gotten the point from my previous video. NIO user volunteers get a shit ton of new NIO owners in for NIO. Because to be honest, I always knew about NIO and what it was about, but I was going to buy a Tesla until I went to Auto Expo 2020 in Beijing. I met up with Magic MX, who's the guy actually referred me. Now his profile is private, actually. Magic MX, I don't want to put too much heat on him, but this guy, he sells 22 NIOs per day at an Auto Expo. Yeah. And he's had over 500 sales of NIO. So you should not ever underestimate how important these guys are. But, he was a super nice guy. He was able to convince me to go get a NIO. And this is something that's definitely very different. You don't ever see customers selling the cars for other brands. Do you see a BMW owner selling BMWs for BMW? You don't ever see that. So this is something that's really, really insane. Of course, those people arguing that, NIO user volunteers are dumb, and even people in my Discord arguing that you guys have no idea. You guys haven't been convinced by these guys. You haven't walked into one of these auto expos and talked to them and how nice they are. But now they're under so much heat. Everybody's blaming them because, NIO has always said that they were never going to cut prices, and all of a sudden they cut prices, and then they got screwed over, and they feel like they got screwed over by the guy that convinced them to buy the car, which in this case are some of the NIO user volunteers. And I have an excellent screenshot of what is happening, and this is really insane. You guys should absolutely translate this yourself to verify what I just said. So this guy, he's actually a NIO owner inside his whole small community, inside of his own apartment complex. He recommended neighbors to buy the car, but then after the recent price cuts and free NIO Pilot, what happened is some of the neighbors left trash on top of his car. Like, you see that? That's trash on top of his car. And then at the back of his car, people wrote this paper that said 垃圾, which is trash. So basically, the neighbors were super pissed at him. One of his neighbors told him that you should eat medicine to take your own life. It's unbelievable how far this has gone. And you should translate this. Look, there's a medicine pill right there. And he had to apologize to his neighbors here in this chat box over here. And he said, hey, if any of you guys want to come over to my place, we can drink some Chinese wine together, Maotai, which is the most expensive Chinese wine in China. But please don't throw trash on my car. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's crazy to hear about, that this thing is happening here because they recommended NIO. And do you think this guy is going to recommend NIO again? How damaging is this whole thing to NIO owners and the whole referral system? It was such a beautiful system. I mean, even Tesla tried to copy it here in China. Tesla volunteers, T-volunteers, but that shit just failed completely because, Tesla keeps on cutting prices, and then, you have these Tesla volunteers, they got screwed over, they got rug pulled. If they let these T-volunteers go on the Tesla booth, they're going to be warning people not to buy a Tesla. So, NIO screwed the whole thing up. And if you guys want to know the root cause of all this whole screw up, it's going to be for another video, but I'll leave a hint, JAC. Moving on, here's another situation that's happening. This guy, he says he has a few friends that own secondhand dealerships, and he said NIOs are taking over like the dealerships, the secondhand dealerships. So basically, there's a shit ton of people selling their NIOs and doing it secondhand, and this is quite bad. And actually, the last phrase, this guy says, it feels like NIO's going bankrupt, which I don't want to create FUD, but NIO's not going bankrupt, all right? But here's a video of one of those dealerships, and you guys can see, holy crap, there's this NIOs all over the place. And then the special promo for the NIOs, because there's so many of them, and you can see the price of that NIO, just absolutely insane. 169,000 RMB. Holy smokes. This car used to go for 600K. All right, 169K RMB just to take it off the dealer's hand. That's a great deal, man. That's a great deal. But if he's selling it for that price, what price did he get that car for? All right, because it's got to be lower than that. This guy over here, he said, honest to God truth, I did not write any of these. Screenshot, translate, you know, I didn't do any shit. I didn't do any of this bullshit, like telling people not to buy a NIO or inside the NIO app, do some kind of rage comment or some shit like that. No, I did not do any of these. This guy said, never gonna recommend NIO again. I lose so much face. And then this thing, of course, has blown up all over China. There's a ton of videos about this. Guys, there's a big revolt group, and you guys can see, I mean, I can't even keep up. There's like so many messages in that revolt group. I try to keep up, I can't. I go eat lunch, I come back, there's 999 new messages or 700 new messages. Crazy. And look at this one. I was about to get the ET5, but now no more. Not gonna get the ET5. So this guy, he already owns a NIO. He was gonna get the ET5 as a second car, but not anymore. Another video. This is from Dongchedi. They are like one of the biggest car review websites in China. And they also made a video about this whole situation, about 100K price cut. Some other screenshots. You guys can translate it if you want. And by the way, when it says chives, it just means rug pull. It's the same thing. That's what it means in China, like 割韭菜, which just means it got rug pulled. Same connotation. All right. What people are doing is they're going on Weibo and spreading all this, all their feelings and thoughts and anger, and telling people not to buy NIO on Weibo. And what's really dumb is they're actually paying advertising for these posts, which is absolutely stupid, you know, to get that pushed to people. Of course, NIO has apologized for this whole debacle, but you know, even though NIO says it only affects a small group of people, but everybody's pissed off about it. And you can translate this if you want. With this whole situation with the 866, now all of a sudden, 200,000 NIO owners. NIO has just divided the community in one shot. Here, live stream, somebody commenting NIO doesn't have a future. So this is a long post, but then at the end, he says, originally, he was going to recommend his colleagues in February to go and get the car, but he has 转移到隔壁品牌, which is he's diverted the traffic to other brands, which is just what the hell, man. Again, you guys can translate this if you want. This is an interesting one, and in here it says, you know, after this recent events, you know, this really hurt NIO's reputation. Originally, my wife wanted to buy the ET5, but I've told her to look at Zeekr instead. Okay. This one, NIO sales rep saying, hey, the NIO sales rep discount really nice. And then a NIO owner commented, he said, do you think with our emotions right now, we're still going to recommend friends to check out the car? Of course not. This one is going to be really crazy. This guy, he says, thank God I didn't recommend NIO. My friend wanted to buy a NIO, but I told her not to buy one. I told her to buy a Lexus. And this is a NIO owner, by the way, a NIO ES6 owner from Shanghai. NIO owners warning other people, potential buyers, to not buy a NIO. Crazy. Some more posts. Yeah. What's my whole opinion about this? This just comes to show that NIO was a bit too overconfident. They thought that those price cuts, no national subsidy, was not going to affect them, but it clearly did. This has obviously hurt NIO's image and reputation. And what's really bad about this is that now that you've let people know that you have this discount, some buyers are going to be seeking this discount. So if you can't match that price, if you say, hey, you only get this price, you go, hey, where's my 132K discount? This screenshot right here reflects that perfectly, right? You've already discounted $100,000. If you can't do a $100,000 discount, I'm not going to buy. And some other NIO owner saying, hey, this is in the same live stream. Another NIO owner said, I'm a NIO rug pulled victim. Please, don't buy. This guy, he got a good deal. He was gonna take delivery of his EC6 one day before the whole price cut situation, but then something wrong happened with his license plate, so he couldn't take delivery on that day. So on the next day, when he was about to take delivery, this whole discount package came in, and holy smokes, 100K off. Damn. And what's really interesting in his post is that he said the NIO sales rep actually told him to not take delivery of his NIO, to cancel the order, scrap the receipt, basically, and then place a new order. And he was able to save 100K by taking delivery one day later. Holy smokes. When you're going to say you're not going to do price cuts and then you do price cuts, make everybody pay for NIO Pilot and then give it away for free, that's going to piss off a lot of NIO owners. And as evident in these posts, a lot of referrals are going to stop. NIO really relied on word of mouth and not advertising, and word of mouth worked really well for them. But now the word of mouth has soured. So that's obviously not good. Also, the other problem is NIO already loses so much money on each car sold. If they're going to discount it by that much, they're just going to lose way more money. But by doing price cuts right now, these discounts, it opens them up to do future discounts. And obviously, to survive, NIO might need to do more discounts in the future, depending on the situation. Competition is intense. I know this is a long one, but thank you so much for watching to the end. I think this is going to be my last video on this topic. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.